Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. This video is part of a series on how to knit a pair of toe-up socks. Cast on the increase the foot, the heel, the leg and the cuff. And then your very last part is of course the cast off. So how to actually get a nice edge here on your sock. And so this cast off here is the very last part of the sock. To fasten off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten off with a regular stitch, so not any super stretchy stitches, because I believe that then the cuff just looks a bit neater. But I am going to bind off as loosely as I can, so that because you do want some. If I just open this up here, you want some stretch in here, because if it's too tight you won't be able to put the sock on, and that's of course also not comfortable. Now to fasten off, I'm going to pull the back needle out. I'm going to knit the first stitch. In the first stitch I'm just going to knit that stitch. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up this loop a little bit. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more yarn than I normally would. Now knit the next stitch. And again give it just a little bit more yarn. So they're just slightly longer than they normally would be. Now I'm going to take the back stitch, and with my left needle I'm just going to pop it over the first stitch. So I'm going to take the second stitch, the stitch that's here to the furthest. I'm going to pop it over the stitch that's to the tip. So I'm going to grab this loop and then hold on to it. I'm going to pop it over the stitch, and now I've worked away that first stitch. Knit the next stitch, and again give it just a little bit more room, and take the back and pop it over stitch. And this you're going to continue until you've done all your stitches. Then you'll have one stitch left. Like I said, what I'm doing here is really important, is that I'm just giving these loops just a little bit. So I'm not like this, of course you don't want them to be too long, but just give them a little bit more yarn, and that makes the cuff just a little bit more stretchy than if you were to work at your at the tension that you use for the rest of the sock. So continue knitting all stitches to the end. So I'm going to make a jump in the video. I'm going to work away all these stitches, and then I'll see you when there's one stitch left. And I'll show you just for the last one and how to work an invisible join here, that you don't see the join. For now, continue and fasten off all your stitches one at a time. When you've gone all the way round, you'll have one last stitch left on your needle. Cut your yarn. Just going to open up this loop a little bit. And what I actually like to do is I like to just put a knot in this loop. So I actually take the yarn and just pull it through the stitch, and that makes a little knot, and then I know this is nice and secure, that it's not going to go anywhere. Now to work away this yarn tail, I'd like to do an invisible join here. So, sorry, I just need to grab a needle. So with a needle, just thread yarn on. And what I like to do is I just like to make an invisible join. So I'm just going to go to and this is very much the same as it is in crochet. You see, here's the first stitch, that first V. So I'm just going to go underneath that stitch, and then come back to the last stitch worked. And there's also there's the little knot. So I'm just going to go next to the knot, just pop my needle in, and then pull that tight, and then You see, this is the knot. This is the stitch that we just created. And then on the inside of the sock, and then push the yarn down through some of the loops here. It's going to take a few. And then if you look at it from the front, there's nothing there. You can't see that there's a join there. So I just pull this yarn a little tighter. There you go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work away this yarn tail. So what I do is I just catch a few of the loops here. And this and working away yarn tails in knitting is I find it just a little bit more difficult than it is in crochet. And now I'm going to come back through those loops again and make sure that you don't see the needle from the front. See how you see the needle from the front? You don't want to do that because then you're going to see a line there. So I'm just going to carefully pick up a few loops. And then double check. So I'm just going to bring it to the front. Okay, now I do not see the needle from the front. So now it's okay. So I'm going to bring this. And then I go one more time, I go back and forth a few times, every time making sure you don't see the needle from the front. And now I'm happy with this yarn tail. And cut. And then that completes the cuff, and you've worked away that yarn tail. It's in there, but if you look at it like this and from the other side, you don't see anything, and that's exactly what you're going for. And it's nice and stretchy. I can still definitely get my foot in here. So that completes the cuff. When you've knitted one sock, you do need to repeat the process for the second because you want a pair of socks. And when you're all done, you have a lovely pair of home knitted warm socks. Thank you for watching the series. I hope this has enabled you to knit your own pair of toe-up socks, and I hope you have many warm woolly socks in your drawers from now on.